Okay, welcome to lorduttas. Today we just are taking this opportunity to explain about the current situation in the markets. Basically, looking at the charts and the performances of the market, and also the performance of the sectors, and also the individual stocks, so that we can make some assessment of what can happen going forward in the second half. All of us should remember one thing, that today is Friday, that is a weekend. So weekends generally the activities are little subdued, especially in terms of volumes and activity within the stock market. And major events are already done, like the Karnataka election and all. So what we will be seeing is only a selective activity in certain sectors and certain stocks. Okay, I hope everyone are getting the voice. See my screen, see the video. I'll be showing you the charts and the current performances. In future also, when you're doing some analysis, you can do in this particular manner to get a better understanding about what is happening in the current situation, so that we can find some opportunities in the market also. Right now, I'm trying to use the stocks. One second. Somebody is using GoTo.
చెప్పండి నేను ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పాను మాట్లాడమనండి ఎందుకు ఆలోచిస్తాను
Okay.
It also forgot because it's showing invalid meeting where it is working. It's good. It's eztalks.com.
Yeah, keep your mics Okay, everyone are getting set. Just your mics, otherwise it will be giving a resound here. Yeah, when you want, you can just switch on that and speak. Okay, there are about 10 people. Right. Please see this particular chart. Those who have done technicals or not done technicals doesn't matter. I can just show you. I'm using a live chart here in iCharts.in. I just clicked on JCharts Premium. The JCharts Premium will show you the live charts. So this is the live charts software where we use technicals. So now I can make this full screen like this. Okay, and I put a hourly chart here. That means every candle what you see here, this particular candle completes in 1 hour. That is by, I think right now it's about 12:45. So 1 o'clock this candle will close. Now what you see, this red lines and the green lines here, they are generally the support and resistances. People who have done technicals here, you very well know these are the supports and resistances. This red line support 2, support 1, pivot R1, R2, and these blue and red lines are called moving averages. Okay, and these are some indicators. We have an indicator called directional movement index, moving averages, convergence, divergence, relative strength index, volume with its average, and price oscillator. These are some indices, indicators. Now I am doing a study of the overall market, that is the Nifty. Now right now if you see Nifty, it is exactly near 200 SMA. This is the blue line and red line. This is very important. If the candle closes below this at 1 o'clock, we can expect further going up to 10,596 in the Nifty levels. Okay, so Nifty, this is a spot Nifty. So if the candle closes here, or at least if it crosses 10,610, it can go up to 10,596 or 597 levels is what we should expect in the Nifty. That means the current situation shows that overall market is little weak. Now, if I go to the individual sectors, like let me say I will get into Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty will talk about the banking sector. So how is the banking sector? We can see when we try to look at the Bank Nifty chart again. So this is the Bank Nifty chart which is opening. Whenever you're doing trading, you see that your charts everything are little fast. But because of the connectivity, I think it is slightly slow. So we can see the Bank Nifty is streaming now. It is being open. In the meanwhile, we can also verify uh, how is the overall market by going to the what do you call new tab and check whether overall how is the NSE. You can keep the NSE open to understand various changes in the indices or the sector. We can see that Nifty is about 65 rupees now. Very important is out of the 50 stocks of Nifty, 35 are not doing well. That is, they are lower than yesterday's closing price, and the 14 are higher than yesterday's high low. So this is very interesting. Uh, that means the overall situation seems to be very clear that they are negative. So we need to see whether we can go for a short opportunity during the current process or take any long opportunities. Today, one of the very important stocks which are very strong are the Bajaj groups. I think today Bajaj Auto results are also there, and we have Kotak Bank and ITC, Hindustan Liver. Hindustan Liver and ITC is supposed to be the fast-moving consumer goods sector. So we can focus on FMCG and Bajaj groups for the time being. We can also see some more stocks here, Colgate Palmolive, Britannia. That means it is very clear that Dabur, all these are fast-moving consumer goods sector. So we should concentrate on fast-moving consumer goods sector to take a long position. That is buy trades, and we can see the losers. In the loser segment, we can see Cipla, it's fallen heavily up to 536, Tata Motors, Sun Pharma, looting. So if you could see out of the 10, there are about 3 stocks which are pharma stocks. That itself will see that pharma is doing weak. Now when you go to the charts, we can see whether these pharma stocks are weak, so that we can go short on that particular sector to go that particular sector or that particular stock to go short on that particular security, so that we can find some trading opportunities currently. To make this full screen, here let's see Cipla. This is a simple way of finding some opportunities in the market where we go to the buildings and leaders in VC and start applying technicals or identifying whether the stocks are lower than the support, has broken the support or gone below steady state or steady state, so that we can expect some more downside in that particular stock. See in this particular Cipla, right now it has broken this yesterday's low. You could see this is yesterday's low. You can see the date and time, 17th May, 10, 6, 11 o'clock. It has broken this. Now we should expect it to go up to 530. And those indicators you very well know DMI is negative and volumes also very high. Now people can just look at shorting at current 538, or you can also short at 541, and we should expect a level of about 530 to 533. That means about a couple of rupees downside. Okay, because of the weakness in this particular stock. And even if you see day before yesterday, this was the low. Yesterday, this is the low, and currently it is going upward. Okay, so my suggestion is that you can just have a short of 531 and a stop loss of 540. Those are aggressive traders who have a risk appetite. They can currently short at current level 537 market, and they can get out about couple of rupees. So Cipla seems to be a weak stock on current scenario. We can go for another stock which is also weak. That is Lupin. So far as overall trading is not good, but Cipla seems to be a strong stock. The way is also can you see Lupin is also going below critical support levels. Lupin is also going below the critical support. So that means Lupin is also expected to further go down. We can also, try to consider buying puts in such cases. I don't know how many of you are comfortable with in such cases where Lupin is below this S2. Okay, those are the technicals. You know what is S2 support 2. So when support 2 breaks, you can expect about 740 to 735 levels in the Lupin case. Okay, so here those who are wait for this stock to close here below this particular low, because the candle will close at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Sorry, now right now it is about 1:50. Another 10 minutes the candle will close. After that you can consider, if it is closing below 746, then we can consider selling this particular stock. The reason is Lupin has made from 730 to 745, so that's almost 20-25 points. So you need to wait for the confirmation before you take the trade. We are looking at some good stocks which are strong enough from yesterday afternoon. Those are L&T Financial Holdings. This is a stable stock and a strong stock. Fundamentally, the results also in this particular quarter, if you would have observed, they have been good. We can consider, buying L&T Financial Holdings wherever the good support is there. I think the good support comes around this blue line, which is about 173. So we can consider buying L&T Financial Holding at 172.50 or 173 for 1 or 2 rupees target, because this is a strong support. The chances of bounce is very high. I think in most of the groups, yesterday morning I placed that any dip in ITC we can consider buying. If you could see yesterday, ITC pulled down from 180 levels. I think I made the choice to buy between 260 to 270, if I'm not wrong, 250 to 270 or 280. Yesterday it came down to 278, and today low also at 275. From there, ITC bounced almost to 10 points, 8 to 10 points today. So whoever has bought yesterday evening or today morning, they have made some good returns on ITC. You could see here 276 levels took support and went. These are done technicals. You know very well that this is a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, a red candle and a blue candle and a green candle. And if you could see that when the stock ITC was falling from high to low, the volumes were low. That means price is falling and volume is also low. Indicate that there is no interest in selling. And when the stock came towards this support level, 275, 270, you could see the volumes are very high. That itself indicates that there is demand for this particular stock, and it started going up to this particular level. Okay, so ITC again belongs to FMCG sector. One of the FMCG stocks which is strong enough is also average from up to 281. So all the FMCG sectors are currently showing some strength. So if you see Godrej consumer product, it is positive, but this blue lines, red line has to cross. If it crosses 1100, okay, 1100 and 1101 or 1102, we can take a long position for 5 to 10 rupees target. But currently, since it is below the resistance, we can't take any long position. The best position I would consider is, to buy at today's low, which is 1070 or maybe 1064. So I would consider to buy Godrej consumer product at this particular level rather than the current level, because there is a immediate resistance here. So we need to avoid taking the long position or buy position in Godrej consumer products. So now if you see CNX FMCG, which is the fast moving consumer goods sector. So what we need to do is we can take CNX FMCG sector chart to understand how is the FMCG sector. We can see that FMCG sector like ITC has also formed a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, which is a strong pattern. So that's why the FMCG sector seems to be doing positive, very positive today. So that's why it is better to concentrate on FMCG stocks for the current day, like even Hindustan Liver or Marico. Marico also had been suggesting in the groups to go long. I think Marico also did well reasonably yesterday, which went up to 320, 321. Again, in the case of Marico, the same situation was there. Marico stock crossed that 200 SMA and EMA in the hourly chart, which is this particular blue line and red line. So that's why the stock has been doing very stable from last couple of days. You can see here from yesterday it was trying to maintain here. It went up to 324. After that, the profit booking started, some cooling, but still I'm okay with the certain indicators here. Once it can go up to 390, 320 and 322, which is today's high, and it can also go up to 324. So let us wait for Marico to cross this particular level of 319 so that we can expect further upside. So you need to, day-to-day basis, you need to check these averages and the support and resistances and some volumes. Here also, if you could see in the case of Marico, in all the red candles, when the stock price is from 324, it went to 317, you could see the volumes are not there. That indicates that when the price is falling, there is not much of huge selling taking place. Only some people are selling. Otherwise, overall, people are not really interested in selling this particular stock. So when the volume pick up here and the stock starts crossing 319, we can consider taking a long position with 1 to 2 rupees or 3 rupees target. This is what we can look at in the case of what we call Marico. Okay. Now let's take some good stock. I think today another interesting stock in the banking sector where all the stocks are under pressure, whether it is Axis Bank or whether it is ICICI Bank, they were completely under pressure. But if you see the case of Karnataka Bank, this has been showing a consistent strength after the results. Seems to be, market is digested the negatives of this particular stock because there has been great announcement with respect to provisions of the losses. That can be one of the reasons why, the stock has been rebounding. Okay. Those who know candlestick patterns, if you see this particular two candles in the bottom, these are actually called piercing pattern, candlestick pattern, and the high has been crossed here and the stock started going up to the resistance. Now the stock crossed this resistance also. My view in the current situation is buy this at between 120 and 120 119 in this particular case, or even you can buy here. I'll just show you because when the stock is going down, the volumes also are not much. So my view here is buy at current level or between 119 and 120. Keep your stop loss at 118, and the first target will be 122. The second target will be 122.80, and you can take up to 123, 124 as a target for Karnataka Bank. So this seems to be a good opportunity right now available for Karnataka Bank. Please don't do in futures. Please try to do in cash, because after 2:30 the real trend starts. Then only we can understand the real picture, because Europe market has already started, which a little subdued market in Europe. So let's see how is the Europe market. You can go to investing.com to understand the performance of worldwide indices, so that you can see how the European markets are. So European market, if you see DAX, it is already open. Okay, I'll open in another tab. Oh, there is an ad block here. I'll open in some other tab. New tab. Investing part. So you should keep all these websites open when you are doing the trading. NSE India, investing.com and all. So if you could see the current situation, the Dow anyway will be closed right now. The DAX is open, about 0.25% it is down. That means Europe market is also subdued. So there may not be a great strength in our Indian stocks also, because of the international weakness in the European markets. So we should not expect some great moves in the current situation. So selective stocks and selective sectors can do well. Yeah. So as per me, this is a current buy in Karnataka Bank. Okay, with first target as 122, second target as today's high 122.80, and 123, 124. Conservative people can buy at 120 or even at 119 with a stop loss at 180. Okay, those who don't want to take much risk, try to do in cash, as I told you. And interesting point is, today I was finding LIC Housing Finance is weak, but however, weak doesn't mean, it's an opportunity to short. It can be also an opportunity to buy. So LIC Housing Finance 480, 470, 480, 485 levels nearby is really a stable level, because if you see last 6 months low also, LIC Housing Finance has been doing reasonably well from 480 went to almost to 560 levels. The same thing is what shortly we should expect in this particular stock. Okay. So right now the clarification is not much. So wait for LIC Housing Finance to come to 475. I think recent bottom, if you see, it is 476. So 476 to 480 is what a good opportunity to consider, buying LIC Housing Finance with the 2 to 3 rupees stop loss around 470 or 474 can be the stop loss. So you wait for LIC Housing Finance to cool down little more, so that we can consider taking some trading opportunity in Karnataka Bank. This is one simple method of seeing the previous bottoms, or seeing the supports, seeing the moving averages, seeing the indices. We can look at what opportunities we have for trading. Okay, so I think Supply is one stock which we thought we can short. It is right now at the same level, I think 537.50, like that. We have seen to go for short. Right now it is about 50 paisa profit, and the low it made today is around 536.60. It's almost at the lowest point of the day. So whoever have shorted right now, you can keep your stop loss 1 or 2 rupees higher and look for 2 to 3 rupees target. Okay, this is one trade which you can do. Okay, any doubts, anything anyone wants to clarify, anything, you can just ask me. Okay, so this is how you need to analyze your charts and see the opportunities, looking into all the technicals and current developments, and also the charts, supports, resistances, and the momentum. Okay, anyone have any understanding about these things? Please try to study as per this situations what we discussed, and try to trade accordingly and try to be profitable always. Don't take a huge risk. Try to take a reasonable risk, and try to get into profitable mode in this market, because this market is providing good risk, at the same time good opportunities also, so that we can safely trade. It is better to trade in cash in the first scenario. You can also trade in options and futures, but those are little risky. But at the same time, sufficient knowledge is essential for all of you to understand the opportunities, and accordingly, trade carefully and make decent money. Okay, so this is all I wanted to tell in this particular session. So have a nice trading and happy trading and successful trading. We keep doing some live sessions like this. Let us hope we will be having a lot of opportunities to meet and explain all the opportunities available in the stock market. Fine. So we wrap up this session. Thank you for attending this session and giving us an opportunity to explain about the technicals.